Every night at exactly 9 p.m., his phone rang, and every time it was his daughter. The only problem? She died 3 weeks ago.
The house felt wrong. Not just quiet, but empty in a way that pressed on his chest. Even the smallest sounds were missing now. No soft humming from the kitchen, no tiny footsteps running down the hallway, no voice calling, "Daddy, look!" Only silence. David sat alone on the couch, unmoving. His eyes were open, but nothing inside them felt awake. In his hand, he still held a small hair clip, pink, slightly broken. Lily's. He didn't remember picking it up, but he couldn't let it go either. The TV was on, but it didn't matter. Cartoons played silently in the background. Bright colors, fake laughter, empty noise. It felt like another world, a world where nothing had happened. 3 weeks ago, his 8-year-old daughter Lily died in a car crash. The words still didn't feel real in his mind. They bounced around like something he hadn't fully accepted yet. Like if he stayed still long enough, he might wake up from it. He survived. She didn't. And that was the cruelest part. Not just that she was gone, but that he was still here to feel it every second. Sometimes he would turn his head toward the hallway, half expecting her to run out laughing. Sometimes he would listen for her voice, even though he knew it couldn't come. And for a split second, his brain would forget. Then reality would crash back in, harder every time. Every corner of the house reminded him of her. A small shoe under the table, a drawing stuck to the fridge, a half-finished glass of juice in the sink. Things that made it feel like she wasn't fully gone, just paused. And every night, when the lights went out, that silence got louder, like the house itself was remembering her too, and punishing him for it. On the 7th night, at exactly 9 p.m., the room suddenly felt colder. David didn't notice it at first, until his phone lit up in the dark. Unknown number. His thumb hovered over the screen. For a moment, he couldn't breathe, because deep down he already knew answering it would break him. He pressed accept. Silence. No background noise, no static, just empty air. Then, a soft voice came through. "Daddy?" David's body went completely still. His grip on the phone tightened so hard his knuckles turned white, because that voice was impossible. But it was hers, clear, close, real, like she was standing right beside him, whispering into his ear. And in that exact moment, he forgot how to breathe. The calls didn't stop. Every night, same time, 9 p.m., it became a routine, like a wound that reopened on schedule. At first, David would panic. Then, fear turned into something else. Waiting. Because when he answered, he would hear her voice again, talking about small things, her drawings, her favorite toy, how she missed him, how she was waiting for him. And for those few minutes, David felt alive again. He would sit up straighter, smile without realizing, sometimes even laugh softly, like nothing bad had ever happened. Just for 2 minutes, maybe less. But after the call ended, the silence hit harder than before. He would sit still, staring at the phone, as if it might ring again if he begged it to. And deep inside, something slowly started breaking, because a part of him knew no one comes back from death, not like this. One night, something inside David changed. For the first time, he didn't just listen to her voice, he questioned it. His hand trembled as he held the phone tighter. His throat felt dry, like he hadn't spoken in days. And then, in a broken whisper, he asked, "Lily, where are you?" The line went silent. Not the normal silence. This one felt heavy, like the world itself had stopped breathing. David sat completely still. Even the ticking clock in the room suddenly felt too loud. Then her voice came back, soft, but different, slower, heavier. "I'm where you left me, Daddy." His heart didn't just drop, it collapsed, like something inside his chest had been pulled out all at once. His mind tried to protect him. At first, it resisted the words. But then, something started flickering behind his eyes. Fragments, shattered images, a wet road, headlights, a sharp turn, a scream that didn't finish. Lily's tiny hand reaching forward, his own voice, loud, angry, then fading. David grabbed his head. "No, no," he whispered to himself, because the memories weren't clear, but they were coming back, slowly, cruelly, and suddenly, the voice on the phone didn't feel like comfort anymore. It felt like truth, a truth he had buried so deep that it had to come back from the dead to find him. The next day, David didn't even remember deciding to drive. He just found himself on the road. Same steering wheel, same silence, same weight in his chest. The city passed slowly outside the window, but inside his mind, everything felt like it was breaking apart. When he reached the place, the air changed. No sound, no movement, just that stretch of road, too normal for something so destroyed. David stepped out of the car. His legs felt weak, like they didn't belong to him. He looked at the road ahead, and for a moment, he didn't see asphalt. He saw fragments. Then it hit him. Not like a memory, like a collapse. That night wasn't an accident. It was something he had tried to bury so deep his mind had rewritten it into silence. He saw himself again, not as he is now, but as he was that night. Drunk, angry, shouting into the dark car. Lily in the back seat, small, scared, crying silently at first, then louder, her voice shaking. "Daddy, please, slow down." But he didn't stop. He didn't even turn around properly. His hands were tight on the wheel, his vision already slipping, the world bending at the edges. Rain started falling again in his memory. Wipers moving too fast, or maybe too slow, he couldn't tell anymore. Road lights turning into blurred streaks. Everything felt unreal, like he was watching someone else live his worst mistake. And then, a sharp turn. A moment too fast. A scream that got swallowed by metal and glass. Darkness. David fell to his knees on the roadside. His hands covered his face, but it didn't stop anything. Because now, the truth wasn't in his mind anymore. It was everywhere. In the air, in the silence, in the road beneath him. And worst of all, in every missed second he could never take back. That night, the house didn't feel like a house anymore. It felt like a memory that was refusing to end. 9 p.m., the exact time. David was already sitting in the dark. No TV, no sound, no breath that felt steady. Just the phone in his shaking hands, as if he already knew what was coming. And then, it rang. The sound was sharp, too loud for a silent room. David didn't even hesitate this time. He answered immediately, almost desperately. His voice broke instantly. "Lily, I remember everything. I'm so sorry. Please, please forgive me." Silence, but not empty silence. This one felt aware, like something on the other side was listening very closely. Then, her voice came, But it wasn't the voice he had been living for. It was different, stripped of warmth, no innocence, no comfort, just truth, cold and final. "You don't remember everything, do you, Daddy?" David froze. His eyes widened slightly, as if something inside him had just been unlocked against his will. "I didn't die in the crash." His breathing stopped. His hand trembled so hard the phone almost slipped. "I was still alive." The room felt smaller. He couldn't move, couldn't think. "I kept calling you, again and again." His mind flashed, not memories now, but fragments he had never allowed himself to see. A glowing screen in the dark, a vibrating phone on the seat beside him, over and over. "But you never answered." That line didn't just hurt him, it finished him. His hand opened slowly. The phone slipped from his fingers and hit the floor. But he didn't react, because his mind was no longer in the present. It was back in that night. The truth, fully rebuilt now. The phone ringing. 15 missed calls. Her name lighting up the screen again and again. His silence, his ignorance, his choice. And now he understood. She didn't come back from the dead. He had simply never listened when she was still alive. The call ended. No goodbye, no final sound. Just absence. David sat there completely still, not crying anymore, not moving, because something inside him had finally collapsed beyond repair. And then, the phone never rang again. Not that night, not ever. Only silence remained. But this time, it wasn't peace. It was punishment.
This story teaches that regret comes when it's too late, and the people we ignore today may become the pain we live with forever. Because love is not proven in big moments, but in the small ones we choose to respond to.
If this story made you feel something, doesn't scroll away. Subscribe to Hidden Tear for more emotional stories that stay with you long after the end. Because sometimes the deepest tears are the ones no one sees. Turn on notifications. You never know when the next story will break your heart again.